I googled desktop from the early 2000s, and this is what I got, complete with the errors. But I guess I got a huge hit of nostalgia, didn't I? And it reminded me of a time where you had all of these apps on your desktop. And for example, if you clicked on this one, Age of Empires 2, it automatically launched you into the game. There was no user, there was no password, you didn't have to give your phone number, you didn't have to give a credit card or anything. You just double clicked on this and you were in the game. And as long as anyone else in the world from any other country, if they had the same icon on their desktop and they double clicked it, they were in the game as well. And together you could play. And as you were playing, you could type messages to one another. And there was no chaperone, there was no fat HR hag looming over you, trying to see if you're saying anything appropriate or not, if you're delving into the dark arts of racismus that can destabilize the Democratic Party in the United States. They weren't trying to see what opinions you have on the conflict of the Middle East. No, you could just talk with other people normally, the same way that you do in real life or over the phone. And of course, if you encountered someone that was impolite or rude, you had the option of muting that individual. And if you're a person that constantly got muted and blocked by people, eventually you would have to change your attitude, right? But it was grassroots. It was the people deciding who is the asshole and who isn't. Nowadays, the American public is led to believe that the same practice that we did when growing up, that what happened up until now, is actually extremely dangerous for our democracy. That violence is happening because of that and not due to politicians trying to defund and demoralize the police. Or lawmakers saying that in Scat Francisco, if you steal less than $1,000 is a misdemeanor. Like, no. Those are fine progressive issues. That's how a country and a nation progresses. What keeps a nation back, what is reactionary, is those evil gamers talking online. But luckily we have the ADL. You know, like, can you imagine a nation without the ADL? Can you imagine the harm that would happen if America didn't have this absolutely beautiful organization which deals with censorship for your safety and mine, of course. And they're saying that digital social spaces, online games, should be regulated to address hate and extremism. Right, like you don't want strong human emotions while playing video games, right? Everyone should be like a Vulcan, completely emotionless, just no experiences whatsoever. Everyone should be poker face when playing Dota or League of Legends. Absolutely no hatred for the teammate that feeds. It's vital. See, vital. Without it, you have the death of the nation. It is vital for Congress to examine extremist radicalization because, of course, you know, every single congressman is a gamer. I mean, when I look at Nancy Pelosi, I see a person that probably has the gold rank in League of Legends. She probably mains Ari, right? I do know that AOC does play video games. But again, like, you're asking of the geriatric squad, because like we know how American politicians are, like most of them are clinging to power desperately, even at the age where they should long retire. But you're asking these people who never touched a video game in their life to all of a sudden become experts. And of course they're asking them to censor video games. Now again, the interesting part is that in our day, most video games are already censored. In order to play a video game, it's not like back in the day where you double click the executable. No, you gotta log in, you gotta have a user, you gotta link it to an email, you gotta link it to a phone number, you gotta link it to a credit card. Most companies know who you are, and if you read the terms of service, most companies also harvest data from you in order to make further financial gains. But instead of like trying to move the practice away from that, instead of trying to say that, hey, you know, like all of you companies, you're entertainment companies, you're supposed to be dance monkey dance. You're not supposed to care what kids are talking while playing video games. That's for their parents to consider, right? So you need to empower the parents to be able to do parenting. No parent should want a for-profit multi-million-dollar corporation to educate their kids. Because they're not going to educate their kids in anything good, right? Like when your kid is going to apply to a university. He's not going to say, well, yeah, I got my master's degree and my education in League of Legends. Riot Games was very careful that they educate me with their terms of service while I'm interacting with other people. I learned it from the Sumner's Code. No one is going to say that, right? Because again, like, companies do have an interest in profit. So when companies ban and when companies censor people, what they're basically doing is like, all right, so if you play this video game and you're addicted to it, and now you got banned, like let's say World of Warcraft, right? So you get banned from World of Warcraft, chances are you're going to buy the game again and start a new account, and the company makes some cash, right? So most companies do allow you actually to get that. Like if you get banned for hate speech, you buy a new game, the company profits, and all of a sudden you're allowed to keep playing. Instead of the government cracking down on it, now they want to incentivize the companies to keep doing it, right? So like the companies profit by having various bizarre terms of service, which they can say now, well, the government is forcing us to do this. Like, we would never want to spy on you. We would never want to harvest your data. It's just that the Department of Homeland Security thinks that little Billy is a potential terrorist. Then you have the government that gets to spy on people, and of course you have the NGOs like ADL showing their muscles and showing the power they can have. It's like, look what we can do to American society, right? They think they have free speech in the Constitution. That's okay. We can launder all of this through the private sector. Like, it's 2024, right? Like, people don't go out at the pub anymore to talk face to face. Most people talk online, and we can push the conversation online to whatever we desire. Again, they're doing this because the elections are coming, and of course they're doing this because they do not want the Republicans to win. But as you can see here, readers have added context, right? I understand that fact checkers are very important. Most people do not have the ability to think, so we rely on fact checkers. And here you have that there is little to no evidence that people are being radicalized through online gaming. This is simply a push for further surveillance of the public, disguised as a goodwill gesture to combat extremism. People primarily play video games to simply relax and have fun, but I guess we're not allowed to do that anymore, right? You're not allowed to relax and have fun. And as you can see, like, this conversation is not meant to be had with you because you're the peasant. Like you just get to be told by your betters how to think and how to behave. Because as you look down, right, the accounts, the comments have disabilities because they do not care what the people think. They are not interested in feedback. They're not interested in democracy, heaven forbid. The only time Democrats are interested in democracy is when they say, we need to protect our democracy. In other words, if you replace democracy with our power, all of a sudden it makes sense, right? So we need to protect our power. But yeah, I find it very interesting how everything escalates. Heel versus Babyface has this rant about pronouns, and everyone goes like, why do you care? Why do you care about pronouns? Oh my god. The company that was pushing for the pronouns pusher, get involved into a controversy, right? And you have like this team curator that says, okay, well, sweet baby, this company, this is what games it's involved in. And all of a sudden you have the Department of Homeland Security, you got ADL, and you got the feds getting involved and saying, oh, we are greatly concerned. Just so concerned. There are no words in the English language to describe our concern. Because gamers are now criticizing Sweet Baby. And you have all of this shit. Let me know what you guys think. And if you like my channel, do consider contributing. There is a link into the pinned comment. It will take you to a place where you can get the best buyer's remorse on the internet. And I'll see you guys there. Take care.